And with that, we welcome you into St. Paul and St. Catherine University. MIAC women's basketball is on the air on tjsportsonline.net. Matt Nelson along with you. As always, our engineer, Glenn Thompson, who's ready to party down out at the Nelson household. We're going to have a little Christmas gathering later on tonight. That is later today, but first we've got some work at hand. We've got St. Kate's basketball coming your way today. The Wildcats host the undefeated Tommies from the University of St. Thomas. Once again, I'm Matt Nelson. Reminder, folks, the Wildcats coming off of a win, 1-2 in the MIAC as they belted Carleton College by a score of 59-45 their last time out. Carleton now 0-3 in the MIAC, and in fact, St. Thomas, who the Wildcats played today, belted times 100, literally. Carleton College, they beat them 100-28. Reminder to check out the sponsors of St. Kate Wildcat Athletics. They make broadcasts like these possible. Universal Athletic, Twin Cities Orthopedics, the Opus Group, Northfield Lines Inc., Sodexo Education, Push Pedal Pull, Midwest Vending, U.S. Bank, Elsmore Swim Shop, Shapco, DLR Group, Cone, Loeffler, Best Western Plus, Bloomington Hotel at the Mall of America, Rachel Contracting, McGo, and Dolan. Let's get into it with our pregame show. Let's head downstairs. Tommy's on the road taking on the Wildcats from the Butler Center and St. Catherine University. Matt Nelson back with you on our Wildcat basketball pregame show. As always, we go from upstairs to downstairs to catch up with head coach Sean Pinkerton. Sean, good to see you as always. We'll talk about St. Thomas here in just a moment, but let's roll back the clock to Wednesday against Carleton. Always nice to put that first one in the win column in the conference play.
Yeah, it was nice to get a win. I thought the girls played hard. Played much better in the second half. Honestly, I'd never seen a first half like the one we had the other night. I don't think in all my years coaching basketball, it was pretty unique. I don't think I've ever seen one team take 41 shots compared to their opponent's 23 and still trail at halftime. But we kind of told the kids in the locker room at halftime of that game, go out and play the same way we did in the first half, and we're going to win by 15 or so. That's kind of what happened. We started making a couple shots.
Especially nice, too, after starting the season against Hamlin in a game that I know you thought your team had a very good chance to win, just for one reason or another, couldn't get over that hump. Got that lead. It evaporated pretty quickly. Their best player got going. So with that being said, huge to go on the road and get a win.
Yeah, definitely. We're definitely disappointed with the Hamlin game. They've got two incredibly dangerous kids in Graves and Bonsante, and those two got going late. You know, we didn't do a good enough job defending them late and taking away quality scoring opportunities, but at the same time, you got to give those two kids credit for creating those opportunities for themselves and then making the shot.
Today you guys have St. Thomas and the Tommies coming in. They've got an unblemished record at 8-0, 3-0 so far in conference play. You look at the roster, it's plenty loaded. No Wires, no Doctor anymore, but still a good amount of talent on that roster.
Yeah, tremendous amount of talent, good size. Really, you know, they usually run their offense outside in. It's kind of been, in my time at St. Kate's, my experience with them. So, you know, with Langer in the post, big 6'3" post player transfer a couple years ago from Winona State. You know, they're really tough down there, and it puts pressure on you around the rim, and then you kind of got to defend from there out.
With a player like a Langer, you know, the guards, you always feel like you have a good shot at them, whether throw Jennings out there, Holt, or the two Clarks. But what do you got to do to slow down somebody, a good post player like that, besides throwing the kitchen sink at him?
Yeah, well, realistically, with a kid like Langer, we cannot defend her with one person. You know, it's got to be a team effort. There've got to be multiple defenders arriving on any post entry to help contest and prevent her from getting all the way to the basket. So we've got to do what we can to keep the ball out of her hands and get the ball out of her hands quickly when she catches it, and throw multiple defenders at her.
How about Shea so far this season? We've seen her have some ups, some downs. Coming in off of the bench, she's putting up big numbers, but at least at home this season hasn't had those stretches where she's really taken over ball games.
Yeah, she has been a bit inconsistent, but you know, hopefully that is just. Yeah, she's going to go through, like any player, kind of some stretches like that where she's not playing her best basketball. Hopefully tonight she has a nice game. She's done a lot of positive things for us But yeah, like you're saying, she hasn't played her best basketball yet. I think the big thing that I've seen with her that has helped us is we have at times struggled on the defensive boards, and it's a big difference when Shay's in the game, and obviously so because she led the conference in defensive rebounding last year by a wide margin. And so she's really important for us in that respect, and she's done a good job there. It's just, getting to the point where she's consistently playing at a little bit higher level in a couple other aspects of the game.
And you hate to ever make it about one player, but when you look at a team like St. Thomas, realistically, you know that if this game's going to be close down the stretch, it's going to have to be a very good effort from Shay, right? I mean, she's the equalizer to a team like St. Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, she's such a talented kid that she has an opportunity to go and have a big game and put some points on the board that give us a chance to be in the game late. Certainly, Audra falls into that same boat. I think last year in our 2 games against St. Thomas, Audra had 18 in one, 19 in the other, and shot a pretty high percentage in both games. So she's played well against them throughout her first 2 games in her career playing against them. And so, there's a couple kids, and those are the 2 that last year led us in scoring. Right now, I think the 2 of them, along with Shauna, those are our top 3 in scoring. They may be 1-2 or 1-3. But yeah, we certainly need those kids to put some points on the board so we have an opportunity late to be in a ball game with a team like this.
Get you out of here on this one. You guys have St. Thomas today. You're going to play Northwestern on the 19th. Then they have a break from the 20th to the 6th of January. How does that work out? Do you guys practice? Do you send them all on their way and try to get their own workouts in? Or how does that shake out? Because it's a long break.
Yeah, we practice a couple days after Northwestern, so they don't go home. We have a practice the morning of the 23rd, and they'll head home after that. And then we're going to bring them back right about New Year's. So we'll have almost a week of practice before we play that game on the 6th.
Your holiday plans? We got to get those too now. Well, you got the Griswold lights up or the tree in the living room bashing out the windows of the side of the Pinkerton house?
We have the tree. We don't have the lights up outside. That has always been my brother and my father's tradition, and wasn't one that I overly embraced. But the tree is up. We're going to hang out in Minnesota, stay at home. Just myself, my wife, and my son for Christmas, and obviously New Year's Day is Liam's first birthday, so we got some plans for people coming over for that.
Doesn't get better than that, Coach. Best luck today with the Tommies and happy holidays.
Thank you very much. You too.
All right, now we're talking, Glenn. We're ready for some basketball here on a Saturday from St. Paul under mild December skies. Can you believe this weather that we've had as of late? 41 degrees today is the word I'm getting from Glenn, and his word is as good as gold as far as I'm concerned. So 41 degrees in St. Paul, the capital city, and on the campus of St. Catherine University. It's a busy weekend in the MIAC. I've got my eyes on the out-of-town scoreboard, but first let's run down today's matchup. First for the Wildcats, your St. Kate's Wildcats, 6-2 overall in the season, 1-2 in the MIAC with the lone win over Carleton. The 2 losses to Bethel and Hamlin. Sean Pinkerton is their head coach. He's in his 4th season, and you just heard from him on our pregame show. His starting 5 reads as follows. Shauna Horsch at the forward, a 5'9" senior out of Inver Grove Heights, averaging just over 11 points per game. Sharing the front court with Shauna is Mari Lee and Kennedy Jennings. Lee and Jennings both averaging 7 and 8 points per game, respectively. The backcourt for Sean Pinkerton, a couple of Clarks, Meg and Audra. Audra averaging just under a dozen points per game. Meg, also a sophomore, Kenyon Onamigo High School, just under 8 points per contest, shooting 76% from the free throw stripe. For the University of St. Thomas and their Tommies, 8-0 on the season. 3-0 in the MIAC under the direction of their 11th season head coach, veteran coach in the MIAC, Ruth Sin. Katie Stone is in the backcourt, veteran player, 5'6", senior guard out of Eau Claire, Wisconsin, just under a baker's dozen points per game. Paige Gurnis shares the backcourt, junior, Winona, Minnesota. 8 games, making her 8th start. She's now played in what will be her 9th game. Gabby Zayer, familiar face for Wildcat fans, is 5'9", junior guard, went to Totina Grace High School. having a big season filling out the stat sheet. 14 points per game, just under 2.5 assists per contest, 87% free throws, 61% from the floor, and 50% from beyond the arc is Gabby Zaire. Lauren Fisher in the front court, 6-foot sophomore, Oshkosh, Wisconsin, 5.5 points per game, and a big impact in the front court. No more Maggie Wires. It's Caitlin Langer, 6'3" junior out of Stillwater Hill Murray High School, 18 points per game, 8.5 rebounds per contest, 2 blocks per game as well, and shooting 64% from the floor. And tough to put on the free throw line as well, shooting 78% from the stripe. So once again, the starting five for the Wildcats: Horsch, Lee, Clark, and Jennings. For the Tommies, Stone, Gurnis, Zaire, Fisher, and Langer. It'll be Langer and Jennings taking the tip, and we're ready to play basketball in St. Paul. Langer wins the tip as she knocks it towards Gurnis, and we are underway in St. Paul with Horsch picking up Gurnis. Left-handed dribbles, takes it to her left, played on a switch by Lee. That's where she finds Fisher, swings it around to Stone. She lines up a three and knocks it down. The Tommies are on the board as the senior out of Eau Claire knocks down the opening three. 20 seconds into the ballgame. Wildcats have it for the first time. Jennings, now Horsch on the left-hand side elbow. Meg Clark, pump fake, backs up Stone. Now one dribble, defers to Audra Clark. She drives it inside of the arc, picks up her dribble. Into the paint it goes for Meg Clark. She nearly threw it away. Horsch comes down with it with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Penetrates, defers to Clark. Now Jennings on the elbow, guarded by Langer. Into the corner. Horsch, long three, that's good. Shauna Horsch looks Katie Stone in the eye and says, I can do that too. A pair of opening threes for both of these teams. Now driving, that's Gabby Zaire. Picked up by a double team. Turned it back outside for Langer. Now driving was Gurnis. Zaire has it on a dribble. 14 points per game for the former Wildcat. A 3-3 tie early here from St. Paul. Stone, Zaire. She'll take a long three right at Jennings. That's off of the back iron, and Horsch collects the weak side rebound with 8:45 left in the first quarter. It's Audra Clark into the front court with it, guarded tightly by the junior Paige Gurnis. Now Jennings for Lee, no threat to shoot the three. Meg Clark guarded by Stone on the right side wing. Horsch double teamed in the paint, back outside. Lee, long two, rattles off of the front iron and rebounded underneath the basket by Caitlin Langer. She averages 8.5 per contest. Gerner in transition, found Zaire, layup no good. Langer rebound, up then over, and rebounded by Meg Clark. Sean Pinkerton's team early hanging tough with the Tommies. Just 2 minutes in from St. Paul. Lee finds Jennings in the corner. She traveled. A turnover for the Wildcats with 8:04 left in the first quarter. The Tommies on the season 8-0. A perfect 3-0 so far in the MIAC, with their wins coming over McAllister, Carleton, and Concordia. None of those games have been close. Concordia 52-47 was the final. Carleton 100-28 as the Tommies turn it over. Clark comes up with it. She'll scoot it the other way, and then a 76-50 blowout against McAllister. 3-3-year score. Jennings from 12 feet out. No good. Gabby Zaire has the rebound and will push it in transition going the other way to the free throw line. Got bumped. Lost her dribble. Horsch came up with it and found Meg Clark going the other way. Clark drives it to the basket. Layup is good and a foul and one. Lauren Fisher, the sophomore out of Oshkosh, Wisconsin, called for the foul. It gives the Wildcats the lead and puts Meg Clark onto the free throw line. Clark averaging just under 8 points per game on the season and just under 4 rebounds, makes good on the three-point play. Horsch early three, and Meg Clark's three-point play has the Wildcats on top, 6-3. Paige Gurnis for Langer, guarded by Lee, defers to Gabby Zaire on a screen, played on a switch. Now double teamed, floats it home to Langer. She's triple teamed, strong dribble, traveled. They didn't call it. Didn't matter. She missed her layup, and Kennedy collected the rebound. Cats ball. Audra lost her dribble, picked it back up as she was defended in the backcourt by Gurnis. Now Audra Clark floats it down low. Audra, double team, kicks outside Jennings. One dribble. Horsch into the corner, guarded tightly by Zaire. 12 seconds left on the shot clock. 6:53 in the first quarter game clock. Audra Clark drives. Her layup might have been blocked by Gurnis, if not Langer. Either way, an air ball that's collected by Stone. Fancy dribbling into the front court for the senior out of Eau Claire, who found Gurnis after she was picked up by Meg Clark. Sean Pinkerton calling out his defense. Zaire guarded by Clark. Now Stone, who hit the three earlier. 9 seconds to work with. Fancy dribbling. Stone drives and was fouled by Jennings on the layup, which is no good. It means Stone goes to the free throw line to shoot a pair. The foul against Jennings, the first against the Wildcats, and is the first, obviously, for the junior out of Grimes, Iowa. It means Katie Stone goes to the free throw line where she shoots 77%. First shot is down. Stone averaging 12.9, so I'm going to round that up to 13 points per game on the season. Shooting 34% from the floor, but 77% from the free throw line, and averaging 3.5 rebounds per game as well. She goes 2 of 2, has got 5 points early here in St. Paul, and it's a 1-point game. St. Thomas flashing the looks of a press, but it's backed off as Gurnis pressures Clark, who walks it up into the front court and hands it off for Meg Clark. Now Lee surveying the defense. Back up top. Horsch, top of the key. Three off of the front iron and off of the backboard and down. Shauna Horsch knocks down her second three of the ball game, and the Wildcats lead it 9-5. 6 minutes left in the first quarter. Slow start offensively for St. Thomas. Margaret Miller in for the first time. Langer, now Stone, as Ruth Sin goes to her bench early. Langer, Horsch lost her, and she laid it up easily. Stone finds Langer for the easy layup. Langer averaging 18 points a game as her first two, and 9-7 is your score. Wildcats with the lead and the basketball. Horsch, who's already hit a couple of threes, finds Lee on the right side just beyond the arc. She's guarded by Lauren Fisher. Now Jennings, one-on-one with Langer, hands it off, throws a nice screen for Meg Clark, who couldn't knock down the open jumper from just beyond the free throw line. Rebound St. Thomas. Tommy's into the front court. Long cross-court pass. Finds Miller. She drives into a double team. Kicks. Stone. Lethal three-point shooter. Did it again. Good start for Stone, who puts the Tommies on top 10-9. Stone has all but two. She has 8 of the Tommies, 10 points. Horsch will try for her third three-pointer of the ballgame. That's off of the front end of the iron and rebounded by Lauren Fisher, who averages 5 of those a game. Going the other way with it. Fisher penetrated but kicked it back outside. Stone has it on the left-hand side primarily. Today she's worked off of the right side. Now down low, Langer double-teamed. Horsch poked it out of her hand. She got it back, but it was tipped by Audra Clark into the hands of Shauna Horsch. She goes the other way into the front court. Meg Clark for Audra, wide open three, knocked it down in transition. The Wildcats lead it 12-10. Audra knocks down the three. Boy, Audra has struggled shooting the three-point shot this season at 25%, but looked good on that one. Nifty pass underneath, but the layup blown by Gurnis, tipped out of bounds. It's Wildcats ball. Subs coming in for the first time. Lachey Holt checks in. Jennings to the bench. Meg Clark as well. And Sean's going to send in Alexis Christensen. Big minutes here for the freshman Christensen. So Christensen re-enters, 5'10" freshman out of Fairmont, Minnesota. What? Glenn Thompson says, yay, Fairmont, with a thumbs up even. Lachey Holt is into the game, the junior, averaging 14-9. 35 turnovers, though, has been the Achilles heel this season for Lachey. There goes Clark driving baseline. Found Shea at the top. Set shot. Three was open. Missed wildly, and underneath the basket, a foul against Audra Clark as she got tangled up with Maddie Wolko, who's been beat up this season. She's just playing in her 5th game and only 1 start for Ruth Sin. The foul against Clark is the second against St. Kate's and the first for the sophomore out of Kenyon, Minnesota. 3:36 left in the first quarter, 12-10 your score. Wildcats leading. Losing it was Miller, and it's a turnover by the Tommies. So the Wildcats turn it over on a foul. Tommies come down, lose the handle, and give it right back to St. Kate's. So far, the pressure has not altered what St. Kate's is trying to do. Wolko walks with Clark into the front court. Wildcats up by a pair. Lee beyond the free throw line. Looks, hands it off for Holt, who drives right at Langer. Now she lost her dribble, and it's booted out of bounds. Last touch by Wolko. 3:14 left in the first quarter. Tight ball game. St. Thomas has outscored their MIAC competition 228 points to 125. They're averaging 34 points per victory. The margin of victory on average has been 34 points in their first 3 MIAC games. Oh, Christensen couldn't come up with it. It's a turnover. The Tommies going the other way with it. Stone in transition. Pump fakes. Langer, jump shot off of the iron on the right side. Tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Lee or Garcia, who is in for the first time. Inside of 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Ruth Sin is going back into her bench. The Tommies are a deep team. Mackenzie Spaulding will relieve Caitlin Langer. Slow start for St. Thomas, 3 of 8 from the floor. The 3 makes coming from Stone. Langer pitched in, and Stone also had the free throw. Langer did have 1 field goal as well. As Holt deflected the pass out of the hand of Spaulding, and Lee came down with it, a steal for the Wildcats as Holt got her hand in the passing lane. Shea going the other way was fouled by Wolko on the floor, and it's the second foul against St. Thomas, the first for the sophomore out of Lakeville South, Maddie Wolko. Back to the bench, Gabby Zayer in for St. Thomas. Kennedy Jennings back in for the Wildcats. Mari Lee heads into the bench. Wildcat basketball will be triggered to the right of their basket by Alexis Garcia. She finds Jennings, who never turned her back to the basket, handed it off for Garcia. 5 on the floor right now. Christensen, Jennings, Holt, Audra Clark, and Alexis Garcia. Christensen just inside the three-point line. No. Rebound, though. Audra Clark gives the Wildcats a second chance, but she double-dribbled it. Came out of the herd with the rebound, put the ball down with 2 hands, came up, hit those 2 hands. It was pretty blatant from where we were standing. It was the right call, and it gives the ball to St. Thomas with 2:20 left in the first quarter of a good ball game. Wildcats, the home team, leading by 2. Zayer back in, guarded by Shea Holt. Now played on a switch by Clark, got it back up top. Spaulding, well beyond the top of the key. Around the screen goes Renikoff. Back for Wolko. 9 seconds for the Tommies to work with. Cats playing a man-to-man defense. Gruber went right by Lachey Holt. Handed it off for Spaulding, who scored it. Mackenzie Spaulding out of Annandale, Minnesota, is her first 2. Look at Lachey Holt going the other way. Sean Pinkerton thought she was fouled. No whistle. It's an air ball. And a tie game with $1:42 left. Wolko drives, kicks. Shea deflected it out of bounds. It stays with St. Thomas. Woo, we're going back and forth pretty good in this ball game at 12 apiece. Not much in the way of fouls. 2 for each team. Wolko and Fisher with the fouls for St. Thomas. Jennings and Clark for the Wildcats. Zayer will inbound, guarded by Holt. And now Wolko has it, 20 seconds to work with. Tie ball game. Renikoff into the corner. Pump fake. Zayer, nothing there. 8 seconds now for the Tommies. Wolko back up top. Renikoff lost her defender Christensen. Or lost her footing. They'll hand it off. Zayer will launch a 3. Missed badly. Offensive rebound, though, collected and put back in by Mackenzie Spaulding. Boy, the Wildcats, if they have one deficiency this year, and Sean Pinkerton makes no bones about it, it's been defensive rebounding, and it showed on that last play when Spaulding came up with it. Christensen, boy, Lachey Holt ran into Zayer at the free throw line. And they're going to call the foul against Jennings. And there, of course, as the foul, I thought she ran into Holt. Instead, they're going to say she ran into Jennings. There is the obvious subplot to that, a foul that stiff, in that those are former teammates, and obviously, anytime a player leaves for another opportunity, there could have been personality conflicts. Zayer is well-traveled in her collegiate career. Now they're playing for the Tommies. But that's something really you got to keep your eyes on as this game moves along. And the officials especially have to keep both teams honest in that situation. Spaulding kicks it around, turns it around. Gurnis wide open 3 off of the back iron Rebounded by Zaire. Christensen traces her out as the Tommies are dominating on the offensive glass, actually just on the glass period. 11-5 rebounding advantage right now for the Tommies. 23 seconds left in the first quarter, 17 on the game clock for the Tommies. Gurnis drives, floater from 8 feet out, rattles around and goes down. Paige Gurnis only averages 3 a game. She has the 2. It puts the Tommies up 16-12, and the Wildcats have it for these last 9 seconds of the first quarter. Holt dribbles at Zaire, backs it up, launches a wild 2. Not a good shot, but Holt got her own rebound, put it up and in. And the Wildcats will trail it by 2 as we go into the second quarter. 16-14 your score as we go to the second quarter from St. Paul. You're listening to Wildcat Basketball on tjsportsonline.net. Bring you back into Wildcat basketball as we go to the second quarter from St. Paul. 16-14 is the score. The undefeated Tommies on top of the Wildcats right now as we get back into it. Christensen is in, and she threw that one away. She was looking for Lee and Holt in the vicinity. Threw it right at the Tommy bench, so it's St. Thomas basketball. Early turnover for the Wildcats. The first quarter stats, St. Kate's shot 35% to the Tommies 40%. A couple of three-pointers for Stone. Paced the way for St. Thomas as they ended up going 2 of 6 from three-point land. Langer down low had it stripped away by Clark, and they're going to call a foul as Clark was chasing down Langer, and they're going to say it was on the shot. So Langer goes to the free throw line to shoot 2. Second foul against Audra Clark in the first of the second quarter for St. Kate's means Langer heads to the free throw line. First shot is good. Langer is very good free throw shooter for center. 6'3" is the junior. Scoring 18 points a game, 8.5 rebounds, 2 blocks. Typically you don't think, and shooting 63% from the floor, typically you don't think of those players as being great free throw shooters. But Langer is at 78%, and she goes 2 of 2. The Tommies are on top by 4 at St. Kate's. Clark hands it off for Holt, who garnered her first 2 points of the first quarter at the end of it after she missed badly on a long 2. Got her own rebound and put it back up and in right at the buzzer. Garcia for Lee. Now down low, Christensen. No interest in scoring against Langer. Back outside for Holt. She takes an 8-footer and knocks it down. Lachey Holt with 4 points makes it a 2-point game with the mid-range jumper. And now the Tommies, with 9 minutes left here in the second quarter, will go to work offensively. Tommies 2 of 6 on their 3-pointers. And those both belong to Katie Stone, the senior out of Eau Claire. Wildcats could take the lead with a 3 or tied with a 2 on this possession. Garcia and Holt. Jab step at Zaire. One-on-one basketball going on there. They throw it inside. Gurnis stole it away from Clark, and she'll push the pace going the other way. Into the lane she goes. Kicks outside. Stone, dangerous three-point shooter. Missed that one long. And the rebound for Fisher. Back for Stone. Cross-court pass. Zaire drives and is called for the foul on her way to the basket as Holt poked her hand in there as Zaire went by. Her first foul against Holt, second against the Wildcats in the second quarter. St. Thomas will keep the basketball and they'll get a fresh shot clock. The Tommies with wins over St. Norbert, at Buena Vista, Pacific Lutheran, Wisconsin Stevens Point, Concordia, McAllister, and Carleton. That score of that one was 100-28, which is about the craziest thing I've ever seen in basketball. They beat Carleton 100-28, a 78-point margin of victory, or 72, pardon me. Where's my math? Where's my arithmetic? 72. That's a lot of points. Some teams would be lucky to score 72 in a ball game. For perspective, the Wildcats have scored 72 twice this season, and that's how much St. Kate's won that game against Carleton by. Horsch, long three, yes! Oh, Shauna's having a big game. A three, Shauna Horsch. She has 9 points on 3 3-pointers. The Wildcats lead at 19-18. Good ball game going on in St. Paul in the second quarter. Well, the Wildcats as a team have really shot the three ball at a poor percentage this season, 27%, 43 of 156 tries. But so far this afternoon, it's been their saving grace, 4 of 7 on their three-pointers, 3 of those belonging to Shauna Horsch. She's 3 of 4 on her three-point tries. The other three-pointer came from Meg Clark, who's another player who struggled with the three ball at 22% this season. So the three-point shot, keeping the Wildcats not only in the game, but they have the lead at 19-8. Paige Gurnis down low now. Langer double team, went up through it. Shot was short, got her own rebound. Bunch of hands in the air. The second try was no good, and a foul is going to be called against St. Thomas as Clark and Horsch were battling with Fisher for the rebound, and Fisher called for her second foul. The first of the second quarter for St. Thomas. It's Wildcats ball. Clark marches it into the front court with her right hand. Now goes to her left. Clark for Horsch, red hot. Lee. Christensen flashed open, now gets it. And she'll hand it off. Meg Clark, wide open three around the screen. That's long. Horsch tipped the rebound right into the hands of Fisher underneath the basket. It's Tommy's ball. 7:05 left in the second quarter. 19-18 lead for St. Kate's. Yes, you heard me right. St. Kate's right now leading in the second quarter over St. Thomas. Perhaps an upset brewing in St. Paul. The three-point shot has been what has paced the Wildcats so far. Oh, Stone is wide open. Lee couldn't close it out, and Stone knocks down another three-pointer as she is on fire. It's her third three-pointer of the ball game. She's got 11 points. 2-point lead for the Tommies. 11 of their 21 points coming from the senior guard Stone. Down low, Clark hit the deck. Christensen, Clark into the corner. Audra Clark driving baseline. Nearly walked it out of bounds and did get bumped. They're going to call a foul against Gurnis as Clark ended up hitting the floor. The foul goes against Gurnis, her first, the third against St. Thomas. Check that they're second in the second quarter at the 6:19 mark. Subs coming in for the Tommies. Gruber and Wolko come in. Lachey Holt's going to come in, but before that, Sean Pinkerton wants a full timeout, and he'll get it. 6:19 left in the second quarter. The undefeated first place Tommies up 21-19 over St. Kate's. And you're listening to Wildcat Basketball. Hey, a reminder, folks, as we bring you back in, 21-19, St. Thomas on top of the Wildcats in the second quarter. Check out the sponsors of St. Catherine University, Universal Athletic, Twin Cities Orthopedics, the Opus Group, Northfield Lions Inc., amongst others. Check them out. They make these broadcasts possible. 6:18 left in the second quarter. Lee on Langer, one-on-one. One dribble, picked it back up for Shea Holt. Now Christensen dribbles into the paint, hands it off for Mari Lee. Now Shea surveys the defense, drives into the paint, got bumped by Zaire, floats it up to the goal. Nothing there. Christensen got it, put it up, and was fouled. The freshman will go to the free throw line to shoot two. Christensen playing in just her 6th game this season, averaging 7 minutes per contest when she does play. And this is just her 2nd trip to the free throw line on the season, where she's 1 of 2. First goes well long. This is a tough duty for a freshman. You know, just a few months ago she was playing high school basketball. Now you're playing against a nationally ranked St. Thomas team. And she goes 1 of 2. Nice job by Christensen, who's on the board. And a good job to collect the board, too, because that's where the Wildcats have seriously been lacking. Stone against Christensen, a mismatch for sure in favor of St. Thomas, the veteran. Down low, Langer. Oh, had it stripped away by Clark, who stole it and got it to Christensen. Wildcats ball. Holt goes the other way with it. Wildcats down just by a point. This is a heck of an effort right now by St. Kate's. Horsch got a screen from Lee. Double team. Back up top Lee. Wide open. Holt top of the key. Played by Stone. Holt goes leaning in on her. Drives to the basket and misses badly with the left hand. The other way it goes with St. Thomas. Wolko in transition. Got it to Gabby Zaire. Bumped by Lee. Back up top. Back for Zaire. Give and go action. And she was fouled by Clark. And Zaire hit the floor hard. The foul will go against Meg Clark. Her first. Sends Gabby Zaire to the free throw line, where she's very good at 87%. And Zaire knocks down her first. Zaire, the junior, is on the board, averaging 14 points per game. And as I mentioned, 87% free throw shooter. She's having a great year, shooting 50% from 3, 61% from the floor. This time, though, she goes 1 of 2. She'll retreat and play defense after the rebound by Holt. Horsch driving baseline, got too deep underneath the basket. Good defense that time by Stone. Langer got the rebound. 5 minutes left in the second quarter. Langer by Horsch, back outside Wolko. Now Stone. Gruber for Zaire. Guarded by Lee with both hands into the air. Zaire puts plenty on it to get it to Wolko. Right side, top of the key. Now Stone by Christensen. Good defense by the Wildcats. 3 on the way. Whistle before that. And a 3-second violation underneath the basket, I believe. Either way, they'll go to the bench. Zaire goes back to the bench, and Margaret Miller comes in. Miller against Holt. Wildcats can tie it with a 2, take a lead with a 3. Horsch already has 3 of those, but she defers to Mari Lee. Top of the key, dribbles, left hand right at Wolko. Got it to the basket, layup no good, rebound poked out of bounds. And it's St. Kate's ball as Horsch wound up on her rear end. As Sean Pinkerton hollers out, in 8 seconds left on the shot clock for his team to work with. And a big, deep breath on what has been an exhilarating, to say, first half. Lee will get a shot off with the right hand. Boy, she beat Langer, went around her to her right side, and was able to lay it up and in. First 2 points of the night for Mari Lee, afternoon, I should say. Boy, in transition, 3 early in the shot clock. That's long for Miller. Horsch, weak side rebound, as Miller jacked one up early in the shot clock. Tie ball game with 4 minutes to go. Lee, she'll try a 3 right at Langer. That goes long, and Stone scoops up the rebound. Going the other way with it is the veteran Stone. Langer, guarded by Lee, goes around her right side, got into the paint, laid it up and in, and was fouled. Horsch was in the vicinity. The shot went up and in, and they are going to call Lee for the foul. The junior called for her first, It puts St. Thomas back on top 24-22. Tommy's going into their bench. Fisher will come in and supplant Gruber. Langer knocks down the free throw and has 5 points. Check that, I got her for 7. And that's what it is, 7 points and 4 rebounds right now for Langer, and a 3-point lead for the Tommies at 25-22. Christensen re-enters. Haven't seen Jennings since the run-in with Zaire. Holt had it, lost it, threw it up for Stone and kicked her headband off in frustration as she went back to play defense. Stone, long cross-court pass, found the hands of Miller. Stone is a good shooter and a very adept passer as well. Clark, I should say, picked it away from Langer. Got it for Holt. Going the other way, was bumped. Layup no good, and 2 shots upcoming for Lachey Holt. 4th foul against the Tommies in the second quarter will go against Margaret Miller, her first. And Lachey Holt goes to the free throw line, or she has struggled this year. She has 4 points on the afternoon, but shooting just 43% from the free throw line. First is good. 5 points now for Lachey Holt, averaging 14 per game, 9 rebounds per contest. The 9 rebounds is second in the MIAC. The 14 points is 7th in the conference. And with Shea's second shot, she can make it a 1-point game. And she did. Pretty nice. Anytime you can send a 43% free throw shooter to the line and get 2 points out of it, that's a good deal if you're Sean Pinkerton. 25-24, Tommy's with the lead. Langer, first Stone, played on a switch. Gabby Zayer's back in. 1 dribble for Wolko. Cross-court pass. Wolko's 3 is long. Lee got the rebound right over Langer. Mari Lee's playing a heck of a game for the Wildcats. Holt, pass, Horsch, layup up and in. 11 points for Horsch. 9 of them on three-pointers. She has her first make of the day inside of the three-point line. It gives the Wildcats a 26-25 lead. Stone against Horsch. Cross-court, Zaire, 3. That's off. Rebound. Langer got it away from Christensen, who fouled her. Gabby Zaire, who's been so good shooting the basketball this season, has struggled mightily in her return to the Butler Center. She's 0 of 6, including 0 of 5 on three-pointers. Zaire's 1 point came from the free throw line. Langer to the free throw line here. 5th foul against the Wildcats in the second quarter, and the first against Christensen. Langer's pretty darn good from the free throw line. She's got 8 points. Kennedy Jennings back in. She got that run in with Zaire earlier. Now they're both back in, and the Tommies have the lead after the 2 free throws by Langer. Shea Holtz for Kennedy, who lost it off of her right hand. Didn't really chase it down, just kind of tapped it, watched it roll by. 2:14 left in the second quarter. Take a deep breath. This thing is still close. Tommies, 1 point lead. Their football team is playing in the national semifinals just up the block. Get your score update on that one at halftime. Gabby Zaire blew right by Lachey Holt and laid it up and in off of the window. Her first field goal of the ball game. What a 7. Jennings for Horsch, drives with the right hand, ran right into Langer, who didn't move like she was an oak tree. And the layup was no good by Horsch. And a foul in the, an offensive foul. Check that, a timeout by Ruth Sin. No, they're calling some kind of a foul must have happened in the backcourt. I missed that one, but either way, Wildcat ball. We'll take it. $1:40 to go. Horsch. 2 dribbles for Christensen. In the paint, swung around. Clark, Lee, now Shea Holt on the left-hand side wing. Drives at Zaire. Left-handed layup. Oh, it was a beauty. She beat Zaire, who just beat her moments ago. Lachey Holt has 8 points. It's 29-28. Tommy's on top. Zaire drives into the lane. Ran into Lee. Was double-teamed. Back outside. Now Stone. Floater for Langer. One-on-one with Holt. Lee comes over to help. Cross-court pass. Zaire struggled from three, picked up by Christensen. Drives, dishes. Now Stone, pump fake. Got into the lane. Got it open to a wide-open Langer. Laid it up and in. Boy, Katie Stone has done a terrific job not only scoring for the Tommies, but creating opportunities for their best post players. 50 seconds left in the second quarter. 31-28. Best offensive possession on that last one when the Tommies relied on their veteran. Now going the other way. Stone is going to be called for a foul. Meg Clark laid it up and in, and she'll go to the free throw line for the second time today for a chance at a three-point play. 5 points for Clark. Two surprising contributors in this game. Mari Lee has really played well defensively against Langer. You can tell she's really huffing for air as she's done the bulk of the work in the front court, and Meg Clark has been superb defensively as well as offensively. Knocked down the free throw easily. The 76% free throw shooter has 6 points on the afternoon and ties it at 31-31. Stone, other way, off of the window, no good. Rebound by Lachey Holt. 30 seconds on the game clock, 27 on the shot clock. The Wildcats can hold it for what could amount to just about the last shot here in the second quarter of a tie game. Both teams with 5 fouls apiece. Any fouls will result in 2 free throws. Holt or Lee, 10 seconds to work with. Meg Clark back for Shea Holt. Crossover dribble. Shea thought about a three. Instead, Meg Clark gets it. Right side three. Missed badly. Horsch got it back in a shot clock violation. Holt's three did not hit the rim, so the shot clock didn't reset. St. Thomas will have a 1.8 seconds left here in the second quarter. Ruth Sin could take a timeout and advance the ball if she so desired. Always a nice big crowd here when we play St. Thomas. And they put another second on the clock. So 2.8 seconds for the Tommies to work with. Wolko is back there with Gruber, who will trigger the ball in, along with Langer, Stone, and Renikoff. 1 second now. Wolko, the long one, is off, and we'll go to the half tied. Boy, oh boy, buckle up your seatbelts. We've got a good one going on in St. Paul. Keep it tuned right here, TJSportsOnline.net. We've got a tie ball game. Undefeated Tommies and the Wildcats head into the locker room tied at 31 apiece. Keep it tuned right here at halftime. We'll check the out-of-town scoreboard as well as run down the stats from this one. You're listening to Wildcat Basketball on TJSportsOnline.net. All right, we'll check the stats and the out-of-town scoreboard, but the St. Kate's dance team is here, so we'll keep it here at halftime. We'll send it downstairs then when we come back. 31-31, St. Kate's, St. Thomas. Wildcats hosting the Tommies, and surprise, surprise, it's a tie ball game at the half. Matt Nelson alongside of, what's your name again? Joe Blow, our engineer. No, Glenn Thompson is back. He's a cult hero here at the Butler Center. Of course, I'm just teasing him because he was dropping some incorrect names before the ball game. But hey, here we are. It's halftime. I said I only jokingly asked you what your name was because we had some name confusion earlier on before the game. But you know what? That's neither here nor there. No one's really keeping track of that stuff. So can you believe this? 31-31 at the Butler Center at halftime. I know a lot of people around the conference are going to be talking about this. The last win over St. Thomas, for those of you keeping track at home, was on January 15th of 2011, 73-68 win for the Wildcats. That was a pretty good Wildcat team, Laura Cabfell and those guys. Yeah, I would have thought it would have been actually longer than that, to be honest with you. But that was a good team, remember. Laura Cabfell and all those good players. She was really good. All programs, all-time leading scorer. So, pretty special stuff there. So that's history and your historical perspective. Let's talk about the first half stats. Katie Stone was the stud for St. Thomas, 11 points and 2 assists. Paige Gurnis made 1 of 3 for 2 points. Gabby Zayer really struggled, 1 of 7 from the floor, 0 of 5 from 3. She had 3 points. Caitlin Langer, 3 of 8, 5 of 5 from the free throw line. She had 11 points. Wolko was 0 of 2. Margaret Miller 0 for 2. Spalding 1 of 1 for 2 points. And Gruber the same. St. Thomas shot 34% from the floor, 23% from three-point range, and 88% from the free throw line. The Wildcats 40% from the field, 44% from three, kept them in the ball game, 83% from the free throw line. Shauna Horsch leading the charge with 11 points, 4 of 8 shooting. Mari Lee 1 of 3 for 2 points. Meg Clark had 6 points and 2 of 4 shooting. Audra was 1 of 2, 3 points. Kennedy didn't score. It got a nasty bump with Gabby Zayer. Christensen played and had a point. Garcia did not score. Holt 3 of 8 for 8 points. Add that all up and you get 31 points. The Wildcats were all rebounded 20-16, and right out of the gate we've got a foul against St. Thomas as Meg Clark got wiped out. The foul goes against Lauren Fisher. Fisher's third foul, the first against St. Thomas in the second half. The Wildcats start the first half with their original starting 5 of Kennedy, the 2 Clarks, Shauna Horsch, and Mari Lee. For St. Thomas, they've got Zayer out there alongside of Katie Stone, Paige Gurnis, Langer, and Fisher, their original starting 5 as well. 9:40 to go in the third quarter, just 20 seconds into the second half, and we're back to work in a tie ball game. Big stuff going on here. Jennings hands it off for Clark, pardon me. She drives. Now Audra Clark spins, got by Gurnis. Layup with the left hand off of the window, banked in. Audra Clark has 5 points, and the Wildcats lead it in the second half against St. Thomas, 33-31. Stone backs it up. Long cross-court pass for Zayer. Stutter step, left-handed dribble, right at Audra Clark. Deferred to Langer and turned it over. A turnover for Zayer, who has really not been herself in this ball game. And Wildcat fans know how good of a player she can be. They saw it in her time here, and her stats back it up this season, shooting 60% from the floor, 50% from 3, and averaging 14 points a ball game. Clark around a Jennings screen, now hands it off. Meg Clark, pump fake, feeling it, got it to Jennings. Now left side Lee, back for Meg Clark. Audra, one dribble, top of the key, screen from Lee, goes around her left side, tried to get it to her, pass was deflected. Meg Clark heaves it up, 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Oh, and she knocked it down, nothing but the bottom of the net. For Meg Clark, it's 36-31. Meg Clark having a huge game. She's got 9 points. Zayer drove past Audra, ran into Mari Lee, laid it up and in. Somehow got through those 2 defenders and got the layup. Zayer with 5 points. It's 36-33. Boy, that 3 with just 2 seconds left on the shot clock for Meg Clark. That was awesome stuff. Tried to get it to Audra Clark, but a foul is called as Audra got fouled from behind. It's Wildcats ball. They're going to call this on Gurnis. And it's a second foul against Paige Gurnis. Ruth Sin hops up and has an explanation that suffices. She takes a seat back down. The second foul against Gurnis is the second in the third quarter against St. Thomas. Audra Clark has the ball guarded by Gurnis. Now Shauna Horsch, who had a big first half with 11 points. Jennings, left-hand side on the elbow, on the wing, I should say. Horsch down low into the post. Meg Clark double team and got fouled. I think they're going to catch Langer, who came jumping in there on that double team. Let's see if it is against... No, they're going to call it actually against Stone. The senior out of Eau Claire called for her second. Regis High School out there in Eau Claire. And she's called for her second. Fresh shot clock for the Wildcats. Lee thought about going back up with it. Instead, outside, Meg Clark three. Back iron, goes up, battled for the board, and somehow little Katie Stone wins it at 5'6". 7:40 left in the third quarter. Stone goes the other way. Up top, Fisher lines up a three. That's short. Rebound down low. Langer got bumped by Lee. No call, but she laid it up and in off of the window. This is fun. This is a close game as the Wildcats now lead it by one, and both of these teams are fired up and feeling it. We got to get Shea out there, though, Sean. What are we waiting for? 7:20 left here in the third quarter. Three. Oh, baby. Audra Clark, the three. 8 points for Audra. Her first three of the night. And it's 39-35 on a low lining three-pointer. The Wildcats have shot the lights out from three. Zaire comes up with it as Stone was being harassed by Horsch. Left-hand side wing. Around a screen. Zaire steps back. Kennedy got a hand in there. Zaire collects it. Drives it into the paint. Kicked it outside. Stone, 7 seconds to work with. And Shauna is going to get called for a foul. And it's a bad one because Stone was in a bad place with just 7 seconds left on the shot clock. How is St. Kate's holding on to a second half lead over St. Thomas? Well, they're shooting 6 of 12 from three-point range compared to St. Thomas just 3 of 14. The foul against Shauna is her first. 39-35. Tommies trailing by 4. Langer, left-hand side, went in for a layup, was fouled. Her layup narrowly missed off of the window. She'll go to the line to shoot 2. Anger already with 13. Goes to the free throw line, leading all scorers, and a chance to cut into the 4-point Wildcat lead. First shot for Langer is no good. Langer on the day 4 of 9 from the floor, now 5 of 6 from the free throw line. She had made her first 5 free throws. There's LaShae Holt back in, 13 and 6 on the day for Langer. As Shea comes in with 6:45 left here in the third quarter. Langer's second is good. She's got 14 points. 39-36. Holt, Jennings, Meg Clark, Audra Clark, and Lee. Mari Lee. Jennings hasn't scored today, as she just got it home in time to the right-hand side wing, and Audra Clark driving into the lane, picked up by Wolko, found Jennings, one dribble on the baseline, hands it off there in the corner for Audra Clark, who dribbled it off of her foot. Katie Stone came up with it and will lead the charge into the front court for the Tommies. Fisher has it now. Wolko, who's been injured this season, but is a trusted player off of Ruth Sims' bench. Langer outside Wolko, extra pass to the baseline. Fisher back up top. Stone lines up a three, and she hit another one. Oh, good heavens. She is an excellent three-point shooter. She has 14 points and ties it at 39-39. Stone having a huge game. For Stone, that is her 4th three-pointer. Holt got tied up and traveled on her way to the basket. Meg Clark didn't agree with that foul as she looked over to Sean Pinkerton, getting an explanation from the officials. Shea has not been able to engage contact and get that foul like she did in the past. That time didn't get the call, instead called for a travel. 39-39. Wolko will run the point. Stone fulfills the role of that shooting guard here in this set of 5. Zaire back in. Cross-court pass. Stone left wide open again. She'll line up another 3. Would have been her 5th. It's off of the left-hand side of the iron. Holt came up with the rebound. Long pass ahead. Meg Clark hands it off for Jennings, who leans in, puts it off of the window. But before that, a blocking foul called against Stone. They're going to say it was before the foul. It looked like Jennings was the one who initiated the contact. Instead, the 3rd foul against Stone and the 4th against St. Thomas. That's a player that St. Thomas can ill afford to lose in a close game like this in the second half, is their veteran point guard, Katie Stone. Her shooting touch and the way that she creates for her teammates is unparalleled on that team. and just her experience in a team that lost great players like Wires, Dr. Marguerite, players like that off of last year's team. Audra Clark looks, hesitates, drives in, and lays it up off of the window. 10 points for Audra Clark. Wildcats recapture the lead, 41-39. Stone played on a switch by Jennings. Wolko, left side Zayer. He's played one-on-one by Holt. Back up top, Fisher. Now Stone against Jennings. Played on a switch by Fisher. Steps back, shoots, 3 is off, and Kennedy tracks down the defensive rebound. The Wildcats showing great energy on the defensive glass. Holt wants to go the other way. She drives in and induces another foul again. This one's going to go against Zayer. Langer came in and said maybe on her, but no, they're going to say Gabby Zayer, who's called for her first foul. The 5th against St. Thomas with 4:36 left in the third quarter means Shea goes to the free throw line to shoot 2. That 5th foul is automatically 2 free throws. Holt 2 of 2 on the day from the free throw line, now 3 of 3. And I think for Shea it just comes down to focus at the free throw line and the stakes mattering. She's 43% for the free throw line. Typically those kind of shooters don't start out 3 for 3 from the stripe. She's got the talent, has the ability, just needs to bring it in, into play at the free throw line. Meg Clark went to the bench. Alexis Christensen, the freshman, comes back in, who played really well. Good effort minutes in the first half. Shea goes 1 of 2. Wildcats lead it by 3. Christensen for Langer. Arenikoff in out of the bench. Zayer, one-on-one by Lachey Holt, who looks her right in the eye as she puts her hands up. That one was deflected. Zayer went for it, came up empty-handed. Instead, Audra Clark for Lachey Holt in transition. Pulls it back. Now Audra, guarded tightly by Wolko. Wildcats leading by 3, 4:07 left in the third quarter. Lachey Holt drives into a triple team. Got it up to the goal. Shot was no good, and Wolko tapped the rebound into the waiting hands of Caitlin Langer. Other way with it, the Tommies. Gruber up top, Langer. Now Renikoff around a screen from Langer. Gruber again for Wolko. Plenty of reserves in for the Tommies. Zayer and Langer, the 2 lone starters. Zayer. And did Renikoff step out of bounds? She did. Zayer got it to Renikoff on the baseline. She stepped out of bounds. It's a turnover for St. Thomas. And it is turnover number 13. The Wildcats, on the other hand, have only turned it over 11 times. Lachey Holt into the front court, guarded by Zayer, who waved a right arm at her. Holt for Clark. Horsch for Lee. Wide open 3. Why not? Good! The 3. Mari Lee, 45-39. 5 points for Mari Lee, who typically doesn't shoot the 3, but was left so wide open, pulled the trigger, and knocked it down sweetly. The Wildcats are leading the Tommies 45-39 with 13 minutes left in this ball game. Can you believe it? Wolko down low. Langer was wide open. The Cats couldn't close it down on her. Wolko, a nice pass. Langer did the rest. She's got 16 points. It's a 4-point Wildcat lead. This would be the upset of the year. I don't care who you are. Christensen for Lee. It's been the 3-point shot that has kept the Wildcats in this position. They've done so well with it. Audra Clark. And now Wolko is down. Whistles before the shots. And the officials will sort this thing out as they send Sean back on his way. 2:32 left in the third quarter. As Mari Lee will go back to the bench. Was trying to key on the explanation. Either way, it's St. Kate's ball. Wolko was the one who went down. .232 left, and St. Thomas is going to go back into their bench for Spalding. And I think what they did is pulled both players off who were involved in it. Lee for the Wildcats and Wolko for St. Thomas. Try to hear what the officials. I think they're both going to get technical fouls. Let's listen. No, we couldn't hear much there. We're trying to listen into Ruth Sinn's conversation with the officials. Couldn't pick any of it up. Either way, we get back to play. No reset on the shot clock. Holt drives in. Another big collision underneath the basket. This time, Lachey Holt went barreling into Gurnis. And the foul is going to go against Zayer, who came in on the help defense. Her second foul puts Lachey Holt to the free throw line. And Lachey Holt 3 of 9 from the floor in the day, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, with the Wildcats leading this thing by 4. First shot is good for Shea. Boy, what a day at the free throw line for Shea. She's got 10 points to go along with 4 rebounds. Zayer hobbles back to the bench along with Renikoff. With 2:28 left in the third. Shea having a great day from the free throw line. Good as gold. Nothing but net. 11 points for Holt, and the Wildcats lead this thing by 6. And the longer this thing goes, the more and more that Sean Pinkerton's team is going to believe. Knock down a couple more of those three-pointers, and you're going to be in business. Stone tried a three. That was no good. Oh, that's a travel. Yes, they called it. Morgan Gruber came down with the rebound, got bumped, shuffled her feet, and got called for traveling. 47-41 your score. Wildcats leading by 6. Lachey Holt into the front court. Crossover dribbles for Kennedy Jennings. And a foul against St. Kate's. Against, let's see, Christensen called for the foul. Alexis Christensen called for a push. St. Thomas with the basketball inside of 2 minutes left in the third quarter, trailing it by 6. Into the corner, Stone against Jennings. Not much offense out on the floor, mainly reserves, along with Stone. Ernest down low, wide open. Spalding missed it long. Lachey Holt collected the rebound and pushes the pace the other way. 90 seconds left in the third quarter. We're winding this thing down in St. Paul. Second half action with the Wildcats potentially setting up what would be a huge upset. Holt for Audra Clark, pump fake, got her defender, brought it up to the elbow and knocked it down. A dozen points tonight for Audra Clark. It's a 49-41 lead. Yernis swings it around to the left-hand side wing. Margaret Miller stares down Holt. They go down low with it. Gruber got her layup off, up and in. Jennings and Audra were defending. And the layup was good for Miller. Lachey Holt inside of a minute left in the third quarter. Wildcats holding on to a 6-point lead. Horsch has been so good shooting the basketball. Guarded by Stone. Jennings will drive. Layup is off. Rebound St. Thomas underneath. Gruber came up with it. Gruber ahead for Miller. Cross-court pass Stone. So dangerous. Got bumped by Audra Clark, who was going by her. And it is going to be a travel. A travel was the call. Audra Clark got bumped right on that far sideline, and Audra is down on her knees and needs a sub. It'll be Meg Clark. She went flying past Stone, who traveled, and in the exchange must have caught an elbow. I think she got the wind knocked out of her. She's back and heading over. .30 seconds on the game clock, 30 on the shot clock. Audra back to the bench. I think she got the wind knocked out of her. Wildcats are going to lead going into the fourth quarter. This is incredible. Lachey Holt for Meg Clark. Wildcats want to drain this clock. They can hold this for their last shot. It'll probably be Lachey who takes it. 10 seconds. Shea, crossover, backs it up, launches a three. 10 seconds left to knock it down. 52-43. 2 seconds left. Stone, a half-court heave on its way and off. The Wildcats lead it by 9. We're going to the fourth quarter in St. Paul. You're listening to Wildcat Basketball on TJSportsOnline.net. Okay, here we go. Let's do this. 10 minutes left in this one. The Wildcats holding a 9-point lead. A 9-point lead over the defending conference champs, the undefeated University of St. Thomas Tommies. 52-43 is your score. The three-point shot has just been unconscious for the Wildcats. 8 of 14, 57%. And here we go. Jennings nearly traveled, brought it inside of the arc, handed it off for Horsch. Into the corner. Tried to lose Stone on a screen, couldn't do it. Holt backs it up. She'll hoist another three. Nearly went down, but Jennings came up with a rebound. She ripped it right out of Spalding's hands. Down low, Christensen off of the glass and in. What a dime. Holt to Christensen, who has 3 points. An unexpected source. The lead is 11 with 9:28 to go. Wolko's shot was blocked from behind by Horsch. The Wildcats playing inspired basketball in St. Paul. Lachey Holt into the paint. Down low, Clark dishes Christensen. Short shot was off. Rebound Clark, and before the foul, a timeout called by Sean Pinkerton. A timeout Wildcats before any of the foul or contact happened underneath the basket. The rebound is Clark's, and Sean Pinkerton gets his timeout. 54-43. 9:13 left in the fourth quarter. Wow. It's been a physical game. It's been an exciting game, and the three-point shot has been what's done it for the Wildcats. But Alexis Christensen has played great defense off of the bench. She scored on that last one. How about these shooting totals for the Wildcats? 53% from three, 47% from the floor, and they've only been out-rebounded at a 26-22 advantage by St. Thomas. 9:13 left. Horsch triggers from the right of her own basket. Gets it in for Jennings. She'll line it up from 13 feet. That shot was short. Scrum for the rebound. That's got to be a foul against St. Thomas. It is a hold. It was called, I believe, against Gruber. Let's see if that's who they put it on. No, instead, Wolko called for the hold. Second foul, and the first. Second foul for Wolko, and the first against St. Thomas in the fourth quarter. 5 fouls means 2 shots. Could be huge with the Wildcats holding on to this lead. Lachey Holt from 14 feet out, knocked it down as she really beat Langer on that one. 13 points for Lachey Holt. The lead is that many for St. Kate's. Langer down low, guarded by Jennings. Cross-court pass into the corner. Miller drives, traveled. They didn't call it. Got it to Langer, and she laid it up off of the window and in. Langer has 18 points right on her season average with 8:42 left in the game. It's 56-45, 11-point lead for the Wildcats. Holt is red hot, pump fake, thought about it. Shauna goes up top, Christensen, 2 dribbles with the left hand, outside Kennedy, no threat to shoot the three. Instead hands it off for Horsch, who is Meg Clark lost her defender, Wolko. Kicked it outside. Lachey Holt wide open three. That's short. Golly gee, that would have been a big one for the Wildcats. Rebounded by Langer, who takes it the other way. 3-on-1. Nifty pass. Miller finishes it off. And the lead is back to single digits for the Wildcats. Miller has 4 points off of the bench. It's 56-47. And the crowd is getting into it in St. Paul. Sean Pinkerton wants a timeout. He'll get it. 56-47 your score. We've got 8 minutes left from St. Paul. Wildcats trying to pull off an improbable comeback. Well, now the question becomes, if you're St. Kate's, you've built this lead of 9 points with 8 minutes to go by way of the three-point shot. 8 of 16, 50%. St. Thomas has struggled mightily shooting the three, 4 of 19, and all 4 of those three-pointers belong to Katie Stone. Nobody other than Katie Stone has made a three-point shot today for St. Thomas. So do you keep your pedal to the metal on the three-point shot? Do you try to start playing the foul game? What do you do here if you're Sean Pinkerton? Shauna's 4 of 6, Mari Lee 2 of 4, Meg Clark 3 of 6, Audra 5 of 6, and Lachey 5 of 13, Christensen 1 of 3. Wildcats have the ball. We are inside of 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Wildcats holding on to a 9-point lead. The Tommies so talented. They have won. Their average win in the MIAC has been by 34 points a game. Shauna, wild layup is off. Wolko taps the rebound to herself, chased it down, nearly lost her footing into the corner, and off she goes into the front court. 7:42 left. Clark poked it away and fouled Wolko. Meg Clark thought she got it clean. Gives a sideways look to the official, but either way gets called for the foul. Her third, and the first against St. Kate's in the fourth quarter. Meg to the bench. Christensen stays in. Audra, Kennedy, and Lachey Holt will play defense for the Wildcats. Into the corner. Stone, the only one who's hit a three today for St. Thomas. Now Wolko, right-hand side wing. Zaire down low, Langer. Double team. Lost her defenders. Reverse layup is up and in, and a pump of the fist from Langer, who has 20 points to lead all scores. The lead, that was as many as 11, is now down to 7 with 7:15 to go. Horsch, guarded by Stone, rocking on the balls of her feet. Now Clark, guarded by Wolko, back up top of the key, Lachey Holt, one-on-one against Zaire. Oh, she shook her right out of her sneakers, but didn't knock down the jump shot. Tommy's come up with a rebound. Langer, now Zaire going the other way with it. Right around Horsch, lays it up and in. 7 points for Zaire. Shea goes the other way with it. The Wildcats on top by 5. One-on-one basketball. Now Audra drives into the lane. Heavy contact, no whistles. Wolko came up with it. St. Thomas has the rock. Wildcats need to defend. 3-on-2. Zaire the other way. Floater off of the back of the backboard. Rebound Christensen, and she has to be a foul against St. Thomas. And they are going to call it on Zaire as she tied up the freshman. Christensen induces the foul out of Gabby Zaire, her third. And she got pounced on underneath the basket. 56-51. With 6:30 left in the fourth. Good heavens, did you see Lachey Holt shake Gabby Zaire right into the next week? That time down low, Holt one-on-one against Zaire. You know she wants it, but hands it off to Lee. Outside, Shauna's wide open for three. And it is off, but underneath the basket again, Gabby Zaire winds up on the hardwood. And a foul is going to be called against Lachey Holt, going for the rebound. There certainly has been contact with Zaire at times in this game, but she has been quick to find her way to the floor. 56-51 now. Wildcats need one of those three-pointers that they shot so well all day long. They were 8 of 16 at last check. 3, Gruber knocked it down. Big shot for the Tommies. Gruber, the freshman out of Durand, Wisconsin, makes it a 2-point game with a 3-pointer. The Tommies were struggling shooting the three. Zaire and Lachey Holt. That's the one-on-one matchup to watch. Audra Clark hands it off for Maury Lee. Shauna inside. Christensen. And her shot blocked by Langer, who snatched it right out of the air. Big mismatch there. Christensen against Clark. Sean's got to get her the game and get Kennedy back in, even though she's played so valiantly today. And he'll do just that at the next whistle. 56-54, 5:28 left in the ball game. The Tommies can tie it with a 2. They'll go down low for Langer. Kicks it outside. Pump fake. Stone. She'll pull it up on the right of the free throw line. That's off. Rebound. Shea got bumped. No whistle. And she'll take it the other way with 5:14 left in the ball game. Zaire and Holt. Boy, oh boy, that is a slugfest of talented players. Shea put an elbow into Zaire, and she drew the charge and gets up with a big smile on her face. And they're going to call Lachey back into the bench. That's her third foul. And the official letting Sean Pinkerton be known that he thinks Holt is targeting Gabby Zaire. She got up with a grin like a Cheshire cat after drawing that foul. With 5:08 left, it's 56-54. Sean Pinkerton needs his team to collect itself. They've seen their large lead reduced to a nub right now, but they forced a turnover. Shauna came up with it. Nifty dribbling by Audra Clark, who works it into the front court. Foul situation, 3 for the Wildcats, 2 for St. Thomas. Lee missed Meg Clark wide open in the corner. Jennings for Audra Clark around the screen. Got it, pick and roll to Jennings, and she was fouled on the shot. 2 shots upcoming for Kennedy. Langer and Gruber were there. Let's see which one of them is going to get tagged for the foul. 30, Gruber. Her second foul, the third against St. Thomas. Puts Jennings on the free throw line. 8 points per game for Kennedy. She hasn't scored just yet today. Shooting around 50% from the free throw line. Clanks her first violently off the back of the iron. Kennedy on the season 53% from the free throw line. One here would be sure nice. Make that a 3-point lead. And she got it. Lots of banging around on the iron, but it found its way down. A point for Kennedy. Makes it a 3-point game. 57-54. And Wolko banged into Meg Lee. And Wolko, who's been injury prone this season, and Clark. This has been as physical of a game as you're ever going to see in your life in this conference. Zaire's going to come back in. Holt's going to come back in right behind her. It will be the better of those two players' team that wins this game for the next 4 minutes and 33 seconds. Former teammates, there is animosity between some of these Wildcats players and their former teammate, and it is shown at times here today in this ball game, and the one who controls it best will win. Zaire to the basket. Layup was short. Shauna the rebound. Horsch comes up with it. The Wildcats have done a markedly better job rebounding the basketball today than they have in previous games in the conference. 31-25 rebounding advantage for the Tommies. Holding a 3-point lead in the basketball. Wildcats have it. Clark thought about a 3, guarded by Wolko. There goes Audra spinning into the lane. Triple team, lost it, and the veteran Stone comes up with it. She'll take it the other way. Wolko in transition, back for Stone. 57-54, 4 minutes left from St. Paul. Zaire guarded by Jennings. Cross-court pass Wolko. Got to think they're going to want to get this ball down low to Langer. She's fronted by Holt. Zaire, baseline drive. 3 players there waiting for her. Got it somehow to Stone, who found Gruber. Lines up a 3. That's off. And Lachey Holt came up with a rebound. She'll push the pace the other way. Didn't have numbers, so she'll slow it down smartly. 3:36 to go. 57-54. Wildcats on top. Can St. Kate's pull off the upset and hand St. Thomas their first loss of the season? Lee for Horsch. Boy, we could use another one of those 3-pointers. Wherever it comes from, one of the Clarks or Horsch. 5 seconds to work with. Shea, pump fake, 3, set shot, found its mark. What a shot! Lachey Holt. Lachey Holt has 16 points, and it's a 60-54 lead with 3 minutes left in the ball game. Big time 3. The Wildcats have lived and died by the 3. Stone will line around. Shea knocked it down. Oh, big shot by the veteran Stone. 17 points for Stone. She's the only one for St. Thomas outside of Gruber's one who's made a 3-pointer. And now Zaire's going to be called for a foul on the floor as Holt went going around her on the baseline. The foul against Zaire is her 4th. Zaire has not had a good game today shooting the basketball, and she's got the 4 fouls. Zaire, 3 of 11, came into the game as a 60% shooter, 50% from 3. And from long distance, Zaire is just 0 of 5. What a shot by Stone after the 3 by Holt to make it a 3-point game, 60-57. Holt, 3, another one! Lachey Holt makes it a 6-point lead for the Wildcats with 2:40 to go in the ball game. 19 points for Holt. What a clutch shot by Shea. Now Zaire going the other way, got bumped by Lee, finds her way to the floor yet again, and they're going to call a foul on Lee. No, Lachey Holt checked that, is going to be called for the foul. That's her 4th. Wildcats didn't think highly of that call. It's the 5th against St. Kate's, which means 2 shots upcoming for Gabby Zaire. What a game. Zaire's first is good. She's got 8 points, 63-58, 2:30 to go. And it's 63-59. Running it down for you with 9 minutes left in the game. We got a timeout on the floor. Let's keep it here. This is too exciting to break it. With 9:13 left in the ball game, it was 54-43 St. Kate's. They led it by 11. At the 8-minute mark, so a minute later, it was 56-47, a 9-point Wildcat lead. At the 6-minute and 30-second mark in the fourth quarter, 56-51. So that lead had been reduced to just 5 points. It was as little as 3 before the Wildcats were able to pad it back now to 4. The Wildcats on the game are 10 of 18 from 3. St. Thomas just 6 of 22. So the Wildcats 10 of 18, 55% shooting the three-pointer, 9 of 12 from the free throw line, 22 of 49 from the floor, 44%. St. Thomas 21 of 51, 41% on their shots. So 51 shots to the goal by St. Thomas, 49 for St. Kate's. And they got the ball with 2:30 to go. And they'll try to close this thing out and pull off a huge upset. Clark for Jennings. Left wide open as Langer loiters in the paint. Lee has it, guarded by Gruber. Big minutes for Gruber for St. Thomas. Holt against Zaire, steps back, shook her out of her shoes. Couldn't knock down the 3, but an offensive rebound. Audra Clark, fresh shot clock. Kennedy has it, will hand it off for Shea. The Wildcats will reset with 2 minutes left in the game. Now inside of 2 minutes and a 4-point lead. Will Sean try to find a way to get this thing down low? Instead, Shauna, long-range 3 ball. That's way off. Kennedy chased down another offensive rebound. Back for Holt, a 3rd chance for the Wildcats on this possession. Need to be judicious with their management of the clock. Clark drives into the paint, kicks for Jennings. She was wide open, no shot up. Instead, Holt with 15 seconds and bodies flying everywhere in St. Paul. Minute 30 left, 4-point lead. Horsch is fouled as she drove it to the free throw line. 5th foul means free throws upcoming. The foul belongs to Stone. It's her 4th. And 2 free throws for Shauna Horsch, who's shooting 69% on the season. Horsch's first. Yes, nothing but the bottom of the net. Horsch has a dozen. Big bucket, 64-59, 1:27 left. Horsch goes 2 for 2. Oh, clutch free throws by Shauna. She has 13 points. And the lead is back to 6. 65-59, a $1:23 to go. And St. Thomas with the basketball. Long pass, Stone, 3 would be a big one. It's short. Langer got the rebound, went back up with it, and was fouled by Kennedy. 2 free throws for Langer. Not bad, though, because the shot didn't go in. So Langer does get the clock to stop at a minute 11 left. The 3rd foul against Jennings, but it was a shooting foul either way. So 2 free throws upcoming for Langer, who shoots 78% and goes to the line with 20 points. Oh, but she missed. Long, big miss for the Wildcats. Langer misses her 2nd free throw of the day. She's 6 for 8 now. 65-59. Now Langer with 21 points. Her 2nd shot is good. She goes 1 of 2 and makes the lead 65-60. Pass comes in for Lee, hands it off to Audra Clark, bumps her from behind, but she keeps her footing well and is guarded tightly by Gurnis. Good ball handling by Audra. She got it into the front court. There is a minute left. The Wildcats lead it by 5 over St. Thomas. Jennings looked down low. Horsch flashed open, but Langer fouled her. And Kennedy will go to the free throw line to shoot 2, with the Wildcats up 5 in what would be the biggest win of Sean Pinkerton's tenure at the St. Catherine University with the Wildcats. So Jennings to the free throw line. 1 of 2 on the afternoon. First shot goes long. Back in for the Tommies, Stone and Gruber. Miller back to the bench. Wolko stays in. And a 30-second timeout is called by St. Kate's. Sean Pinkerton wants to talk things over. We've got 55 seconds left from St. Paul as the Wildcats are holding on to a 65-60 lead. Again, the dominance by St. Thomas cannot be understated. At Concordia, 52-47 the win there. Close-ish game, a 5-point win for the Tommies. After that, a 100-28 win over Carleton and a 76-50 win against McAllister. If you're a Tommy fan, you're probably looking at that front end of the schedule going Carleton, McAllister, St. Kate's, easy peasy, let's go to the Christmas break. But not so this afternoon, as the Wildcats have made 10 of 23 pointers and lead it by 5 with 55 seconds left, and Kennedy still has another free throw to go. Appropriate song choice there coming out of that timeout. Taylor Swift's Bad Blood. As there has been some on display here in this game. Jennings, this will be a big one. See if Kennedy can knock this thing down. And nope, no go. Kennedy goes 0 of 2 from the free throw line, and St. Thomas, Ruth Sin, in her 11th season as head coach for the Tommies, wants a timeout and will get it with her team down by 5 with 55 seconds to go. Let's take a short break. (65-60), Wildcats leading the Tommies with 55 seconds to go. Sean Pinkerton has called a whale of a game from the sidelines as his Wildcats trailed 16-14 going into the second quarter. Won the second quarter 17-15, won the third quarter 21-12. And so far 17-13 St. Thomas in this fourth quarter, but they still trail it by 5. The clock's running, 52 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Wolko swung it around for Stone. Dangerous three-point shooter. Got one up, but it was short. Langer the rebound, went back up with it, uncontested, and scored at 65-62. There's 44 seconds left. Audra froze for a second. Now she's trapped underneath the basket, and a jump ball is going to be called as she got wiped out underneath the basket. And the Tommies force a turnover. Stone was in there along with Gruber. Possession arrow favors St. Thomas, so they'll get the ball trailing by 3. Oh. Wildcats had it in the backcourt. Audra froze for a second, handed it off, and then it was all over. They trapped him right underneath the basket. Down low, Zaire got bumped from behind by Horsch. Big smile for Gabby as she goes to the free throw line. She can make it a 1-point game with 2 free throws. Zaire with 8 points marches over to the free throw line. .36 seconds left in the game. Zaire's first. Rattles in and out. Big miss. Wildcats have been helped out by some misses. Langer missed one on her last trip to the free throw line. Now Zaire clanks out her first with 36 seconds left in the game. Second shot. That's good. Zaire is 9, and we've got a timeout on the floor. 65-63 with 36 seconds to go. So you've got a tenuous 2-point lead. So if you're St. Thomas, they'll be aggressive. They'll be playing for the steal, and I'd imagine if Kennedy gets it, they'll foul her immediately because she has struggled from the free throw line. Her looks have not been that clean. But this coaching staff drawing up a play. Meanwhile, Ruth Sin talks defense with the Tommies. 36 seconds left. Both teams in the bonus situation. Any foul will incur 2 free throws. Our engineer today has been Glenn Thompson. I'm Matt Nelson. I have a feeling this one will be getting some watches on the archive if indeed the Wildcats pull this thing off. This is going to be fun for Wildcat fans to watch back a second time. Offensively, Stone leading the way along with Langer for the Tommies. Langer 23, Stone has 17 on 5 3-pointers. For St. Kate's, Lachey Holt 22 points. Shauna Horsch with 13 on 3 3-pointers. Audra Clark has a dozen. This will boil down to which team can execute better. Can the Wildcats close? They had a big lead against Hamlin in the second half. Couldn't close that one out. Can they close out this one against the undefeated Tommies? 33 seconds left, 26 on the shot clock. Tommies will play defense for now. Kennedy had it. Now Horsch guarded by Stone. Close game. The Wildcats have won a couple of these this season late. Audra Clark, 15 seconds on the shot clock. Why not hand it off for Lachey Holt? Mismatch here as she goes one-on-one against Gurnis. Shea went inside of the arc, got picked up on a double team, backs it out, 6 seconds left. Now Jennings, 2 dribbles in. She hoists up a shot, nearly went in. It's rebounded by the Tommies. They lost it. Jennings jumps on it, and a jump ball is called. Behind that, Wildcats have the possession arrow with 2 seconds left in the game. Oh, the Tommies had the rebound. They lost it. Kennedy Jennings went jumping on it. A jump ball was called, and the Wildcats have the arrow. That means it's St. Kate's ball. Ruth Sin wants a timeout, and they will grant it. But the Wildcats have it with just 2 seconds left, leading by 2, 65-63. They hung on to it. They played keep away, Glenn, is what they did, and St. Thomas decided to defend rather than foul. And we saw Jennings got it off with a second left. It was a pretty good shot. She jacked it up right in front of Langer. And there was a scrum for the loose ball. It was a jump ball. And now the Wildcats have a chance, if they can get this thing in safely, send somebody to the free throw line. A couple of free throws certainly would ice it. But the key is getting this ball in. You have 5 seconds to do it, folks. And we'll see. I think you probably try to get this ball into the hand of one of the Clarks. They're your 2 best free throw shooters. St. Thomas obviously will be going for the quick foul. I would think the ball would come in to one of those 2, or Shauna, 69%. I would think that's what Sean is talking about with his team. But the path to victory for St. Thomas after that rebound got away from him became very difficult to foresee. Jennings, Clark, Audra Clark, Lee, Horsch will inbound, along with Shea, who gets in line. They'll line him up right behind Langer, who will defend the inbounds pass from the veteran Horsch. 2 seconds left in the game. They got it in for Audra Clark, who was fouled immediately. Just under a second, wound off of the Clark. Got it in safely to Audra, who will go to the free throw line. On the game, Audra, 5 of 7 from the floor. It's her first trip to the free throw line. She also made a couple of 3-pointers. 2 free throws here, and your winners. First shot for Audra, in! 3-point lead, so now at very worst you're looking at an overtime situation if the Tommies can hit a miracle 3-pointer. Audra's second, a clincher! And St. Thomas is going to take a timeout. Rusin refusing to wave the white flag of surrender. There's a second left in the game and a 4-point lead. There's an announcer of the Green Bay Packers. His name is Wayne Larrabee, and he has a saying, and it goes something like this: "That is your dagger." And that is your dagger at 67-63. There is no path to victory for St. Thomas. 2 huge shots by Audra Clark. So now timeout is taken on the floor. Boy, what effort by Sean Pinkerton and his team. And there clearly was more at stake for St. Kate's Day. They felt like they had something to prove. And they did it. If you were setting a line on this game like they do out in the desert, it would have been in well into the double digits. And the Wildcats are going to win this darn thing. Holy smokes. What a win for Sean. Stone played a great game for St. Thomas. She'll inbound it, but they're resigned to their fate. They're dropping this ball game on this Saturday afternoon in the Butler Center. Ball comes in. Before that, horns, all kinds of horns. And they'll have to replay that with a minute or a second. 1.6 seconds left. They'll put 1.8 back on the clock. And if you're St. Kate's right now, Glenn, the only thing you don't do is foul, because the nightmarish scenario is a three-point shot that goes up in and you commit a foul. So you let St. Thomas take whatever three-point shot they want. You just do not initiate any kind of contact that could send the Tommies to the free throw line. You let them catch it, do whatever they want with it here with 1.6. Shot comes in. Shot goes up. It's short. And Merry Christmas, Wildcat fans. As your Wildcats have pulled off the improbable upset over St. Thomas, 67-63 is your final. And the Tommies, undefeated record now, no more. The Wildcats pull off a huge win, and all smiles all around on the floor. 67-63 is your final. Woof. That was quite a win for St. Kate's, and they send St. Thomas home with a loss. It's a short drive back, but the Tommies fall to 8-1 on the season, 3-1 in the MIAC. The Wildcats 7-2, 2-2 overall in the MIAC, and a nice ovation from their fans as they head into the locker room. What a win. Undefeated no more are the Tommies. Let's run down the final stats for you. The Wildcats shoot 10 of 20 from three-point range en route to this 67-63 win. Shauna Horsch, 13 points. Mari Lee had 5. Meg Clark had 9. Audra Clark, 14, and 2 huge free throws that put the game on ice for St. Kate's. Jennings played great defense all game long, but went 0 of 4. 1 of 4 from the free throw line, did have a point. Alexis Christensen, her size was invaluable for the freshman. 1 of 4, 3 points. Alexis Garcia did not score, played sparingly. Lachey Holt, 7 of 17, 22 points to go along with 8 rebounds. For the Tommies, they come up short in this one. Katie Stone, 17 points on 5 3-pointers. Paige Gurnis had 2. Gabby Zayer did not play a good game. 3 of 11 from the floor, 0 of 5 from three-point range. She had 10 points. Lauren Fisher, 0 of 1, did not score. Caitlin Langer, 8 of 13, really good player. 7 of 9 from the free throw line. She had 23. Manny Wolko, 0 of 4, did not score. Margaret Miller, 2 points. Spalding had 2 as well. And Gruber off of the bench hit a big three-pointer late in the game. She had 7. St. Thomas shoots 40%. St. Kate's 42%. On three-pointers, the Tommies 6 of 25, 24%. St. Kate's 10 of 20 for 50%. Free throws, both teams shot well. St. Thomas 13 of 17, 76%. The Wildcats 3 of 18, 72%. 35 rebounds for the Tommies, 29 for St. Kate's. Both teams turned the ball over 16 times. The largest lead for St. Thomas, 4. The largest lead for the Wildcats, 13 points with 9:05 left in the game. Next up for St. Kate's, Northwestern on the road, and then it's the holiday break. My goodness. 8-1 now are the Tommies after the Wildcats pull off a huge upset. Their first over St. Thomas since 2011. So for our engineer, Glenn Thompson, I'm Matt Nelson. You Wildcat fans got an early Christmas present from St. Paul as the Wildcats win at 67-63. We hope you have a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. We'll talk to you on the other side of New Year's. Our next broadcast, January 6th, as the Wildcats will host St. Mary's. So Merry Christmas to all of you listening and Happy New Year. We'll talk to you in 2016 as one more time we say it, you're not hallucinating. The Wildcats beat the Tommies 67-63. Go Cats!